What's good, y'all? This your boy, Mr. Pound for Pound himself, and I'm back in the house once again just to give you my prediction on UFC 183, January 31st, 2015. Anderson the Spider Silva versus Nick Diaz, the bad boy. You guys tell me what you think about this fight. This is just my prediction. It's way early. It's a big fight. It's a super fight. It's Anderson Silva and Nick Diaz return, to the octagon. So, what do you guys think is going to happen as far as prediction? I know what I think is going to happen. I'm just going to go over it a little bit, talk about it. Mr. Pound for Pound, let's get into it. As far as Anderson Silva is concerned, I've seen Anderson Silva fight from Pride, all the way from the Pride days, before Vale Tudo, all that stuff. I seen him way before he came to UFC. I told my friends, in a jokingly way, I told my friends, I said, there's no white boys that are going to beat Anderson Silva. It's just not going to happen. And ironically, it didn't happen until Chris Weidman, but that fight always didn't really sit very well with me. The first fight, it looked like Anderson Silva was playing around, toying around, got knocked out. Second fight looked like he broke his leg. It was just fluke. Like, both fights looked flukes. So, for that reason, I give Chris Weidman, and I will always respect him for the win, but I don't respect how he won both fights. I respect him for winning, but I don't respect how he won. As far as Nick Diaz is concerned, Diaz, to me, ironically, he's been just an okay fighter. He's never been elite in my eyes. He's never been great. He's just been one of those tough, durable guys that will talk enough shit to get your anxiety going, to get you tired. And that's what he does. He's really comfortable in there. He loves the fight, talks a lot of shit, but he really, in the fights that I've seen, he talks and he comes forward and he just kills the other guy's demeanor. He kills their aggression. He kills their spirit by coming forward, talking shit, getting their face, letting them know, yo, I'm still here. And a lot of guys break. And it's funny because even when guys are beating Diaz, they'll still break just because of that pressure and the mindset. A lot of the times, 90% of this game is mental. Nick Diaz, to me, is not that good a fighter. But the things he does as a fighter are good. He has big wins. He beat Paul Daly. KJ Noons and stuff like that. He even beat Frank Shamrock in Strikeforce. I remember that fight. But these weren't different versions. KJ Noons, not that great of a striker. Paul Daly, he's okay of a striker. Frank Shamrock, out of his prime. But when you go to his last two fights, which were against prime elite fighters, Carlos Condit, George St. Pierre, Diaz got beat pretty easy. In this fight with Anderson Silva, I don't see Diaz winning at all. As far as striking is concerned, Anderson's better. In this fight between Nick Diaz and Anderson Silva, I think you're going to see pretty much of the same thing. He's an elite fighter. Nick Diaz really doesn't beat elite fighters. He's beat elite fighters, but they weren't at their most dangerous best. I would say one of the elite fighters that he actually beat, I thought was a good fight, was Tucker Norigomi, but he was high out of his mind, Nick Diaz, off marijuana, that he barely felt the punches. So that was pretty crazy. As far as Nick Diaz as a fighter, I like him. He embodies the spirit of a fighter. He fights, he throws punches, he talks shit. That's what they do. But as far as like a fighter, I don't think he's the best fighter, not even near some of the best. I just think he's a really good, tough fighter that beats guys that either don't train 100% or aren't mentally tough 100%. But at the end of the day, Nick Diaz is a 170-pound guy. Even though he's 6'1", he's still naturally 170 pounds. Anderson Silva, 6'2", about the same height, but he's naturally 185, 205. Anderson Silva is just naturally the bigger guy. So if we're talking about size, I go with Anderson Silva. If we're talking about strength, I go with Anderson Silva. If we're talking about height, reach, I go with Anderson Silva. If we're talking about, power, Anderson Silva, speed, Anderson Silva. If you want to talk about stand-up fighting, Muay Thai fighting, we're going Anderson Silva. I give Nick Diaz the advantage on the ground, but, even Anderson Silva's pretty good on the ground, and he's strong, and I don't know if he can keep him there, how long that Diaz could probably keep him there on the ground. Possibilities of actually keeping him on the ground is tough, with Anderson. He's just so durable. He could do so many things. He's just so spectacular in the ring. It's really hard to beat him. So that's why I said those two fights with Weidman were really just fluke fights in my mind. But hey, it is what it is. He lost the fights, and now we got Anderson Silva versus Nick Diaz. This is a very easy prediction for me. Anderson Silva all the way. I'm actually going to go with Anderson Silva, possibly by stoppage. If not stoppage, it'll be by a decision, of course. But I'm going to go with the stoppage here. I see that Anderson Silva is just too versatile, too dynamic for Nick Diaz. I think this is a setup fight for Nick Diaz, maybe by Dana White to purposely get his ass whooped. You know, I know that Diaz and Dana White in the past have had some things, said and not cool with each other. So we'll see what really happens. Nick Diaz got a 3-fight deal. This is his first out of 3, so it's money. You know what I mean? Money's always good, but sometimes all money's not good money. And we'll see what's going to happen in the ring. I think it's going to be a brutal beating. I think Anderson Silva is just going to take it to him, beat him down, make a glorious comeback. That's just how I feel. Anyway, y'all, this is your boy, Mr. Pound for Pound. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one. Peace.